go ahead and talk about these 4 things. Okay? I'm hearing a lot of conversation happening right now. It's just me. Okay. What was easier to figure out the pattern for, the graphs or the tables? Okay, so let's talk. I heard more people say tables. So who can share with me why this slope is -2? Camden. So these go up by 1. Is that what you said? Yeah. And these go down by 2? Okay. So using that same thought process, somebody besides Camden, what's our pattern for number 4? What? What's our pattern with the x's? Aaliyah. They go up by 4. And then? Oh, the y's go up by 1. So let's look at both of these tables. How do we go from this pattern to -2 and this pattern to 1/4? Connor. Ah, -2 divided by 1 is -2. 1 divided by 4 is 1/4. Good catch there. Okay, so let's talk about our graphs. Okay, hold on. Miles, I know you're excited about it. Right here, I see 5/1 down for number 2. 5/1 down. A lot of people erased theirs. This group didn't even write anything.
We did write something. We just erased it.
Okay. So, Miles, the 5/1 down, is that what you and your group were also discussing?
Kind of.
Okay.
So, I remember this from, like, a while ago. So, it's like you go over 5 and right's positive, left's negative, down negative, up positive,
Okay.
like normal. So, you go right 5 and down 1, which is kind of the same thing. Meaning it's like 5 divided by -1. Or no, it's the height divided by the length.
Okay, so it's like,
Negative
it's
1
up and
divided-
down divided by side to side. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is how Miles in group 2 and then whoever in group 8 figured out the 1/5. So does that same thought process, Miles, I don't want to hear from you because I know you know it. Does the same thought process get us 2 in this graph number 1? How far do we climb up? I'm going to have you try that again. That is definitely 4. How far do we crawl over?
2.
Oh my goodness, 4 divided by 2 is 2. Ladies and gentlemen, this is slope. Could you please turn in your student journal to page 81? Yeah?
No way, we have to do math in math class. I'm pretty sure all my pencils are broken, so.
I'm so sorry. I might have some extra pencils if you need. Okay. All right, so I need you to stay with me here. So slope, I want you to write rise over run. And I'm going to be very honest with you. We're going to be flipping pages back and forth, okay? So slope is rise over run. From one point to the next, how much do we climb or fall divided by how much do we go forward or backwards? Okay? Now, when we think of rising or falling, which coordinate are we talking about?
Y.
Okay. What about running?
X.
Okay, that's going to be important here in a little bit. Okay, remember lots of page flipping. What I want you to do is I want you to turn to the next page so we can talk about positive, negative, zero, and undefined slope. Okay. When you have a line with positive slope, that line is going to rise from left to right. When you have a slope that is negative, whether it be negative 1/5 or negative 5 or negative 1/3, whatever, it's going to fall from left to right. Now, yesterday we talked about how to graph these lines. This is what we call a slope of 0. When it's horizontal, our slope is 0. And when we have a vertical line, we have an undefined slope. Okay, there's no slope because it's vertical. Okay, now, when I think of these, I like to think of a little skier. This is Miss Homan, who used to ski. Okay. Now, if I'm trying to ski on positive slope, how's that going to go for me? I'm going to have to work really hard, won't I? I have to work so hard, I'm going to be making noises. Puff, 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 positive. I have to work really hard. Okay? But if I am skiing on negative slope, it's going to be pretty nice, isn't it? Yeah, it's going to be nice. Yeah. What? Yeah, give me a moment. Here, there's one in that coffee cup. Now, how about 0 slope? Well, that's like cross-country skiing. That's just not any fun. 0 fun, if you will. Okay. Okay. And these are really the two instances I want you to think about the skier. If it's flat, that's not going to be any fun. 0 fun. What happens if Mrs. Holman tries to ski? Oh, I would be undefined because it would end. I would end. Okay, so I want you to think about. Yeah, we don't want to be skiing on a vertical line because it would be a cliff and we would fall to our demise. Okay. Now, what we're going to do is, again, turn to the next page. And I want us to figure out the slopes of these lines just from the graph. Okay? So, in the interest of time, M is for slope. What is the slope of this line? Undefined. Okay. Okay. Now, in this line, we need to calculate our rise over our run. So how far do we rise?
Eight.
Okay. And how far do we run?
4. 5.
I think it's 4. So our slope would be rise over run. Is this positive or negative?
Positive.
It would be a positive 2. Okay. Now, what about over here? If we calculate rise over run, that was terrible. How far do we fall?
We fall down 5.
We fall 5 and we run Okay, so we're falling 5 over 5, which means our slope is -1. So watch this. My slope of -1. Okay, we like slope to be a fraction. If it's not a fraction, it's like over 1, right? Okay. So if I say rise over run, my slope is -1. So I can say from this coordinate, I'm going to fall 1 over 1. There's another point. Fall 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1. Down 1 over 1. Okay. On this graph here, this slope is like 2 over 1. So we can go up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And there are all those points on that line. Okay. Now, what if we don't have a graph? Okay. I want you to go back, and I'm sorry. I want you to go back to page 81. Also, I don't know why M is slope. Just roll with it. M is slope. If we don't have a graph, we are not going to graph them. We are still going to do rise over run. So for rise, we are going to take the difference in our y's, because you told me that rise was up and down. That's y. And then run, we're going to take the difference in our x coordinates. Okay. This is the slope formula, and gosh darn it, guys, it's super important. Okay. You're going to be using this a lot. So let's come down here to the bottom of page 81. Yes.
What do you mean by the two y coordinates?
Oh, so what?
What do you mean by the two y coordinates?
So if I have 2 points like x, comma y, and x, comma y. Okay.
Two dots, y's.
Yes, the 2 dots. Yep.
And how do you know which one to subtract from?
You decide. So usually, like, I take the second one as my x, my 2, and the first one as my 1. It doesn't matter, but you just got to keep, this has to be from the same coordinate, and this has to be from the same coordinate. Okay, so let's come down here to the notes portion, and we're going to find the slope between, let's just make up a coordinate, -1, comma 2, and 4, comma -3. You guys, I made this up. I don't know. Okay. Okay. Okay, it's simple. Don't overthink it. Okay. We are going to take y2 minus y1. So basically, I'm going to take the second y minus the first y. Do you see how I did that? Second y, first y. I'm subtracting them. Okay. Then I'm going to take second x minus first x. So I would have 4 minus -1. It's minus -1. And what does minus -1 mean? Plus. Okay, so this is turning into plus. So my denominator is 5. What's my numerator? Oh, so our slope is -1. We're going to do one more problem. Okay. So please write this one down. we have the coordinate 5, -3, 5, 3, and -1, 3. In my numerator, I'm going to take second y minus first y. In my denominator, I'm going to take first x minus second x, minus first x. Ah! What happens?
It's a 0.
Can we take 0 divided by -6?
Yes.
Yes, we can. When is it not okay to have a 0? Okay, if we get like -6, like a 6 over 0, that would mean undefined. Okay, but a 0 over -6, that's totally fine. Okay, dividing by 0, not a thing, that's undefined. 0 divided by something, totally fine. Okay, so your homework tonight is going to be practicing slope. That's it. Can you do it? Vivi?
So with a line, with a row, my dad
Yep.
We didn't get any.